everybody. Welcome to Wife and Big Z.
I'm the wife.
And I'm Big Z. And today we're testing out our rig because we're actually going to start podcasting. Gosh, I think we should do this weekly.
Okay.
Like maybe weekly after the kids go to bed, which they are not asleep. So you'll probably hear units 1 through 3. Unit 4.
No, unit 4 is still awake too.
Yeah, but he should be asleep. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna break in this podcast. Just kind of break it down, I guess. So, we've been together for a long time.
17 years next month.
17 years. It's been awesome. It's been crazy. It's been woo, and we don't have advice to give, so that's not what this is about. We're just gonna talk to each other and have some good times, and I'm gonna yawn because I'm a sleepy man. But I think this will be a lot of fun because this is kind of cathartic because you can just talk, and then later you can listen to it and be like, see right there,
I told you I said that earlier.
Yeah. But anyway, so we were talking about earlier during a mic test. We were talking about movies.
And how I have not seen any movies.
Have you not seen any?
This whole.
Have you seen? You haven't seen any movies this whole summer. What was the
not
last
this whole
thing?
Summer.
What was the last thing you saw in theaters?
Might have been Jurassic World.
No way. Because that was last summer. Like we had bought it on DVD. We don't have it on DVD anymore.
Moana. That
came out in November.
Yeah. My
Wow,
mom was going to take the girls, and I insisted
nope.
that if you're going to take my kids to see Moana, I have to go.
Yeah, you're taking me with you.
I let her take them to see Beauty and the Beast without me.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to go, but it wasn't like as big a deal for whatever reason.
I thought you had already seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
That's why I'm so anxious.
Because you saw Cinderella, right?
No.
You didn't see Cinderella either?
I haven't seen Cinderella.
I haven't seen Cinderella either. I have not been...
I've seen all the animated ones. Like, the animated ones, for whatever reason, are, like, a big deal. Like, I want to be there when the kids see it for the first time. Yeah. But the live-action ones, I tried so hard. The remakes. I tried so hard to watch The Jungle Book. I really did, and I couldn't do it. I
was not interested one lick in that movie. I mean, I love Jon Favreau, and I love me some Scarlett Johansson, and I know she plays the snake, but I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I couldn't watch it. And then Cinderella came and went so quickly that it just made my head spin, and nobody it got such bad reviews that I didn't even there wasn't anywhere to watch it, everybody just wanted to forget it happened. And so Beauty and the Beast has done so well, and the kids like it, but see it.
I remember after the Jungle Book came out, it was like, oh, we're gonna make all these movies. We're gonna make The Lion King, and we're gonna make Ariel, the Little Mermaid, and Beauty and the Beast, and yada yada yada, and Dumbo, and oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing. And then I think they kind of came to their senses, and they were like, all right, well, let's go ahead and just do humans for now.
Well, yeah, what I think would be better is if they went and they put the same effort into, instead of recreating the classics that are already there,
make new movies,
but on the Grimm's fairy tales and things like that.
Yeah.
There are so many good stories in there that might be able to be toned down, a lot less death and cannibalism, but
well, they all have to be toned down a little bit.
I mean they toned them down when they turned them into movies to begin with, but I think that if they did that kind of justice, they could make some of those other fairy tales just beautiful, because I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast, but I saw that
was a big hit.
A lot of clips from it, and it's gorgeous. That's why I want to watch it. I know what happens, but I just want to see it.
It looks really good, but by the same token, I think there's something to be said about how anthropomorphized they made the cups and saucers and stuff. They just look weird to me, because I'm used to the cartoon. But getting back to the whole Grimm's fairy tales thing, I remember when we were watching Tangled for the first time, you were like, this is the part where he should be blind with no eyes and walking through the desert. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I had no idea.
No, he was wandering through the forest. She was wandering through the desert.
Oh, that's right.
Was pregnant with twins that he'd knocked her up with.
Okay.
Before she got banished from the castle.
So I can imagine the Disney version is a little bit less like the original, which is fine.
Yeah, they're still patricide.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, Mother Gothel.
Step patricide?
She bad.
Fake patric? I don't know.
That was my favorite part of the movie. Was she's
when
like,
she
"What have
died.
you done? What have you?" And she was dust before she hit. She was gone before she hit the ground. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of classic Disney. Like
You were
somebody
like,
died,
"Yes!"
but they didn't really die. They just aged to death really fast.
Well, you remember we saw the shadow of Clayton's feet in Tarzan. Homeboy got hung, and we knew what happened. Like, he got hanged. Because that's actually how you say it. The past tense of being... Or
hung is hanged.
Yeah. Because he's going to hang for his crimes.
Unless
Snap.
you're referring to the... Like a horse count. Then past tense.
Yeah.
He was still hung.
He was hanged like a horse. But at any rate...
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. Just imagine this poor horse with a noose and its tongue sticking out like. But at any rate, so yeah, so you haven't seen any movies this summer. We haven't seen Guardians.
We haven't seen Guardians.
Which we
I have
wanna
not
see it.
seen the one with the bad guys, Harley Quinn and
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Suicide Squad.
It's all right.
It's all right.
I give it a solid all right.
Like, I'm not really into the action thing, but I do appreciate some dark humor.
Yeah.
I mean, Daredevil, not Daredevil. same color scheme.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah. Deadpool was a lot.
I
of
like Deadpool.
Funny.
The action sequences were really well done, but that's not what I'm in it for. I just like the dark
and the
comedy.
action sequences in that movie were they served a purpose. It wasn't just like, and now we're fighting, you know.
Well, and also while they were fighting, there was like conversations going on and one-liners and things like that to appreciate. So
like when what's her name's boob pops out and Colossus just like, and she's just like, oh, I'm sorry. He's just like, you are a beautiful woman, and then they fight some more. Like, yeah. Anyway,
yeah, you wanted to hit all those X-Men by the end of it, except for
Negasonic Teenage
Warhead.
There was only 2 X-Men in that movie. There was Deadpool, who wasn't officially an X-Men, and then there was Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus, and that was it.
Yeah.
And he even jokes about it in the movie. He's like, wow, this sure is an empty mansion. It's like they could only afford 2 X-Men. But anyway.
Because he likes that fourth wall thing.
Yeah. And they did a really good job with that, because, I mean, there's only, I think, maybe one point where he actually looks at the audience, and it's a fourth wall joke. He's like, fourth wall, inside a fourth wall. I'm breaking the 16th wall.
Cubing that wall.
Yeah. But yeah, so we saw Deadpool. That was last summer. Suicide Squad was okay. When it comes to like the DC movies, I think
just squared. Sorry.
No worries. Maths. Ugh. But yeah, when it comes to the DC movies, far and above, Wonder Woman is the best movie.
All the DC movies are really heavy action and not a lot of actual storylines.
This one was half and half. There's as much story as there is action. And again, they don't do anything where it's just like, and now they're, it's not Transformers, right? It's not just like, and we interrupt your movie to bring you a fight scene.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was really impressed about, and for y'all that don't know, our kids are young. Like, units 1 through 3 range in age from 4 to 8. So these are little kids.
Yeah.
So
Unit 4 hasn't even gotten the concept of language yet.
He tries really hard.
He does.
But Wonder Woman's a PG-13 movie, and I don't usually like the kids to go see PG-13 movies, with a few exceptions. So, like, we did take them to go see Jurassic World. We took 1 and 2 to see Jurassic World.
Right, we did.
With us, not with anybody else. That's not a grandma movie. But I wanted the kids to see Wonder Woman because there's a female director, which they need more props anyway. And the cast I was reading a lot of stuff about the way that she chose, even extras, like the Themysciran extras. Almost all of them were like Olympic level professional athletes. Their build was not because they starved themselves before the role or, trained their bodies to look a certain way. They looked like that because they're actually, like at Themysciran would, working their bodies really hard and going through all these things every single day.
That was one of the best parts of that movie.
Very accurate.
That was one of the best parts of that movie was the fact that you totally believed the body language of every one of the Amazonians, and even to a certain extent, obviously it's one of those situations where you watch a movie and they have a bunch of extras who are firemen or a bunch of extras who are bodybuilders or stuntmen, and then you see the star, and the star is just running, lackadaisically or whatever.
Godot's got some cans though.
It's not even that though, man. Like she trained really hard for the role, and everybody's talking about the fact that she was a member of the Israeli army because everybody's a member of the Israeli army for 2 years.
Yeah,
mandatory.
they have to.
But and she had gun training and she had basic training. She was more or less a clerk. Like she was like a supply clerk, or she did catering, I think. But even still, she's not dainty. She's not, a stick figure woman, and
she's a Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and a lot of people sort of weirdly had a problem with that both ways. Both like she should be jacked, she should be huge, she should be Ronda Rousey, or she's a princess, she should be rail thin and all CG special effects or whatever. And I think she's an excellent balance because she's a normal human shape. Like, yeah, she's exaggerated somewhat just because she is a model.
In the comics, isn't she kind of
hyper feminine?
No, just really tall as well.
Yeah.
So her proportions are like Godot's proportions, but she's like 7 feet tall or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. She's pretty tall in the comic book. She's never been a short superhero.
I don't like I said, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how Godot stands up, like height wise. I'd appreciate it if she was like eye to eye with the
with the boys.
with the general male cast.
She is pretty much. I mean, she's pretty much the same height as Chris Pine.
You missed Keith completely off subject. It was my grandfather's 90th birthday today, so most of my family was in town, and we all went to my mom's house, and he was working and then had to do some other stuff, so he didn't get to go.
I don't know.
But Keith is my cousin's boyfriend.
Which cousin?
Kimberly.
Yeah, it doesn't really help me, and I feel silly for asking. Both her sisters are
married to men whose names rhyme. They're both Usards. There's a Broussard and a Dusard. Anyway, okay. Keith's not a Usard.
Right, or like a Goosard or a
his last name's Russian. Russian, it's not a Russian name. It's Russian.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't match. But anyway, this guy's got to be like 6'3", 6'4".
Uh-huh.
So everybody else, all the other men in my family are like 5'10" to 6'1", and then Big Z here is just right at 6 feet.
6'1", yeah.
No, you're 6 feet.
The DPS says I'm 6'1".
Yeah, well, my brother is 6'1". You are not. But anyway, this guy, it was like 6'3", and I walked into the room and suddenly was even shorter.
Even shorter.
I'm only 5'5".
Yeah.
And all the women in my family are like 5'7", 5'8". I think I have an aunt who's 5'10". And then all the guys are close to 6 feet.
Yeah.
Including my 90-year-old grandfather.
Right.
So I'm little and my dad's 5'7". So we're the little ones in the family.
Your dad's not exactly a little guy. He's just shorter. Little. Well, he's shorter than the average man, but he's, I don't know.
He's petite.
I guess so.
He's a tiny little dad.
Yeah, I am not a petite man. I'm not super tall, but I am wide.
He is built You always say you're built like Mr. Incredible
at the beginning of the movie.
At the beginning of the color part of the movie.
Yeah, the color part of the movie.
Not the black and white business at the front end, but the color part of the movie.
I'd have
to agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with that. He's like an inverted triangle. He's got very broad shoulders and chest, and then he narrows at the waist.
He like an upside down pear.
I don't think you have the pear, but like your shoulders and chest are really broad, but then when you narrow at the hips.
Yeah.
So.
There's a book series that I've been listening to.
Big hands and big feet, ladies.
But there's a book series that I've been listening to, an audiobook called The Chronicles of St. Mary's, and the character in the book, whose perspective it's from, her name is Maxwell, and there's a character named Dieter, who each book she describes him as being built like a brick shithouse, like every time. And
what is that supposed to mean?
That he's big and broad and burly. It's so funny because
why couldn't it be a regular brick house?
Because
it's more fun to say.
Well, no, because like porta potties are like rectangular and upright.
Okay.
And
So he's built like a porta potty.
Like a brick porta. I mean, if you found something the size and shape of a porta potty and it was made out of bricks, you'd be like, that is a brick shit house. And then you see a man who is roughly that size and shape, and you're like, that man is built like a brick shit house. I don't know.
I think that's a very long series of very specific encounters that I would have to get the analogy.
The reason I bring this up is because I would like to be built like a brick shit house, or at the very least, like a wooden shit house. Right now, I'm just kind of doughy.
I like your shape. You could be a little smaller, and you'd be able to, get a few points down on your LDL. But
the most important thing is there's no denying that it would be a shit house because I am full of shit. Anyway,
not completely.
We were talking about
Wonder Woman, yeah.
So Wonder Woman's a good movie. Go see it. You probably have because the whole damn country, besides my wife, has seen that movie.
Yeah, I know. You need to take me.
I'm gonna take you to go see that movie. We'll go see Guardians. No, we'll go see Beauty and the Beast because it's gonna be out of theaters soon. Then we'll go see Guardians. Then we'll see Wonder Woman, or we can flip those around.
You know what we should do?
We should do?
What's that? Is we should. Well, you're not gonna like it, but I'm gonna say wait until they're all out.
Yeah.
And then
just
rent them all. Yes, kick the kids out of the house, send them somewhere, send them to grandma's house for the day.
We could rent Beauty and the Beast right
pizza.
now. Yeah, we could rent Beauty and the Beast right now if we wanted to.
We could marathon the other one.
I know. No, that's cool. We could have a DC marathon when Wonder Woman come out because you haven't seen.
I don't really care.
But they're decent flicks though.
I know they're decent flicks, and I know you really want to see the Thor one.
Yeah, I mean the good thing about Wonder Woman is that all you have to know is that she met Batman at one point. Like that's it.
And the DC ones are, I'm gonna have to say this, they're better than the Marvel ones lately. The Marvel X-Men and
the Marvel Studios ones are still really good, and we haven't the last
Iron Man.
We saw Doctor Strange. We saw Doctor Strange, and we actually enjoyed that one.
Iron Man is DC.
No, Iron Man's not DC.
He's Marvel?
He's Marvel,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't like Iron Man.
Yeah, and he's in like all of them.
I don't like Captain America. The haircuts bugged me.
The haircuts.
So bad.
Yeah, the haircuts. That's a big sticking point for you. Being
Wait, what? No. What's his name?
Falcon. With his fade.
Oh, he had such a bad fade.
He had a bad fade. So wife Z here is
Wife Z.
She's a hairstylist in real life, which is a lot more scientist and artist combined than anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she has a problem with bad wigs and bad extensions.
Oh gosh.
What's even better is like we watched. Oh, what did we watch? I think we just saw Civil War, and like half that movie you were just like, ugh, Scarlett Johansson's hair, and then the other half of the movie you're like, that is a bad wig. Why is she suddenly wearing a wig? And I'm like, because of reshoots. And it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
It bothers me. It takes away from the cinematic experience.
Everybody has that. The thing
and then I watched Captain America, and I can see, okay, this is his hair. They dyed it that week.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is his hair. They dyed it last week.
Right.
But it's the same scene.
Yeah.
So it's they did the action sequence and he had fresh dye, and then they went and did like him running through the streets,
and see, that's the kind of thing
with like a little bit of roots showing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is the kind of thing that we don't notice as, as people who don't pay attention to stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I will notice 100% and be like, ooh, he doesn't have the Avengers logo on his arm. He doesn't, or what's this, he this, he that, he the other, and, that kind of thing. Like, you can see the indentation where the Avengers logo should be, and then later on, he, like, rips it off his arm because I'm not an Avenger anymore, or some such mess.
I saw something like that in that episode of Clarence we were talking about the other day.
Really?
There was a continuity error. Yeah.
What, in a cartoon?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
So, like, the dad's going to run the mom's boyfriend is going to run a marathon, and Clarence is like being a little cheerleader because he's upbeat and positive about everything, and he loves, what's his name, Chad.
Yeah,
he loves Chad, and so Chad's going to the marathon, and he's wearing this shirt with a whole bunch of doodles all over it. And then they get to the marathon, and Clarence presents him with the shirt with all the doodles on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, because I noticed, I said, oh, Clarence must have made him that shirt.
Yeah.
With all this, like, yay, you're the best Chad thing on it. And then he gets there and hands it to him, like,
Chad, I made you this shirt that you just took off.
would be so proud of me. I found a continuity error.
That's awesome. Gosh, I guess we're all introductions at this point. Hopefully some of you have seen Kiddo and Big Z, the show where we play video games together, and at some point, we're also going to be doing podcasts from our comic book store, which isn't open yet, but it will be. I'm a comic book nerd and animator. I'm an animator.
He animates.
Animator, part-time animator, full-time tech support right now. But yeah, so continuity stuff, cartoons in general, I love them. Big cartoon that me and the entire family are into right now, Steven Universe, and we'll talk at length about Steven Universe.
I love Steven Universe. We could talk. Unit 1 has a lot of opinions on Steven Universe.
Yes, she does.
As well.
Another thing that we're looking forward to, we have to figure out how to make this work because we want to get Save the Light on the PlayStation, but we'd also love to be able to get a capture card so that we can play that and do a series on it because... so those of you who don't know, Steven Universe, great show. They had a game come out about 2 years ago now called Save the Light, which was like a $4 game on the iOS store. I bought it because I was like, ooh, Steven Universe, that's fun. And it turned out to be this epic RPG, and I never finished it.
It's called Attack the Light.
Did I say Save the Light?
Save the Light's the new one.
Yeah, Save the Light's the new one.
Attack the Light.
Attack the Light.
Unit 1 played that thing to death.
Almost 100%.
She played it like all the way to the end, and then decided she wanted to do the whole story over again, and started the whole story over again. Yeah. She was obsessed with that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Months. And now she's moved on to
when she was 7.
Right.
So she barely knew like which buttons to hit.
And that's the thing, like she got really good at like strategy and stuff. Like I'd played the game and been like, I ran out of cookie cats and I died and ding. And she's over there like, well, yeah, Daddy, you need to get Rose's tear and you need to use the star fruit so that you can get more points so that then you can form Alexandrite. And I'm like, cool. I didn't know Alexandrite was in this game.
My newest hobby is canning. So we're very different people, but we have some things in common. We both, I think, are equally passionate about Steven Universe.
Yeah, we both love Steven Universe.
And obviously our kids.
Yeah, well, I mean,
our little units.
That kind of goes without saying. Hopefully, I mean, any of you out there who have kids, love your kids, God. But anyway, so another thing that I'm going to be doing, at one point we were doing the Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty, and at another point we're doing Loot Crate, and we've gotten rid of both of those for financial reasons, but we are going to start subscribing to the Fallout Crate, which is supposed to come out...
He's saying
at
this
some point
on air,
I think
so that he can make it a reality. It's like, I haven't recorded that I said we're going to do it, because I never said, okay, hon.
Let the record show. But at any rate, I still don't know when it's coming out. I'm hoping it's going to come out like maybe towards the end of August or maybe September. They announced it and they're just like, stay tuned. But Loot Crate's been doing some crazy stuff right now. Like they've got a sports crate I think only a handful of people actually got it, and they weren't happy with the stuff that was in it. And then, like, there's a regular Loot Crate that they're, like, 2 months late on a shirt.
You know what you need to do? Okay, here I am shooting myself in the foot. When you get that crate...
Yeah.
The Vault Crate. What is it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Vault Crate or Fallout.
Fallout Crate?
Crate, or yeah.
You need to get my tocaya while she's here in town.
Okay.
Well, you know, get her to come in because she's really into that too. He has a friend who has the same first name as me, who's really into Fallout, and she lives.
She lives in Denver. I don't know that
she lives in Denver.
I don't know that she would.
We live in Austin,
would come
Texas.
to Austin during that time.
Well, she. I think they've been talking about coming down here and visiting anyway.
Yeah,
but it'd just be cool to like do that together, and then y'all could split the winnings. You like split.
I don't know about splitting the winnings.
Maybe order 2.
I almost bought Loot Gaming this month because it came with a small replica of a rifle, but it was only like 8 inches long, and I'm weird when it comes to scale. But yeah, so I mean, shoot, maybe I can set up something with her on Skype or something like that. What'd you say? I missed it. You're like, nothing?
I'm just slipping dirty jokes in under my breath.
Oh, okay.
You'll find them when you edit this later.
Yeah, we'll find them later. So anyway, I mean, this is pretty much like an introduction to us and a discussion of other things, and this is fun. We should do this at least weekly.
These are the conversations that we have when we're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, and we should just like catch up because I don't see. See, I work. I was going to say 13-hour days, but that's not true. I work 10-hour days.
But
end up
you're
being
gone
11.
13 hours.
Yeah,
it takes you an hour to get there, an hour to get back, and an hour for lunch.
Yeah, so we don't see each other a lot on the days that I work, and then she works on one of the days that I'm off. This will be a great way for us to catch up and talk about our biz.
I work 3 days a week, and I just work when I want to.
Yeah, you really do.
It's nice. If I have somebody, if I have a client, I go, and if I don't, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving locations, and business is going to be a little more steady there, but.
But anyway, so that's pretty much it, I guess, for this edition of Wife Z and Big Z present.
I ain't no Z.
You ain't no Z?
I ain't no Z.
Wife T? No.
Why can't I just be wife?
I mean, I guess.
Or you could call me Sweets.
Sweets and Big Z?
He calls me Sweets.
That's my
I call
thing.
him Babe and he calls me Sweets. We hardly ever use our names.
Yeah. So then a child will sometimes be like, Sweets. And we're like, no.
Yeah, Unit 4.
Yeah, no.
They've all done that.
I'll do that.
Sweets.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, we're kind of pushing our limit on time. We really have a limit on time, but
the kids have to go to bed.
They do have to go to bed. So, at any rate, this was fun, and we'll catch you next time. Catch us next time on our regular channel, Kiddo and Big Z, at YouTube. Have a good one.